Hello everyone, welcome to MES e-learning channel. In this video, we will be learning about Routh stability criterion, case 2, that is row of zeros. We have already discussed case 1. If you have not seen it, please go back and check that video out. Okay, let's proceed with the question. So here again we will be starting by forming Routh's array. So as I told you, while forming Routh's array, we observe what is the highest power of s that we have, and we start writing s raised to 6 in decreasing order, s raised to 5, s raised to 4, s raised to 3, s raised to 2, s raised to 1 and s raised to 0. Now, with the help of the question, that is the characteristic equation that is given to us, we will be able to fill the first two rows of the Routh's array. So let's do it. So starting with s raised to 6, we will write 1 as the number here is 1, right? Then here this is the odd power of s, so here we will write 2. Then again even power, s raised to 4 we will be writing in this particular row, so 8. This 12 will come here, then 20, 16 and this 16. After filling these two rows, we have to calculate the values for the remaining rows. Okay. So always while calculating in the paper, make sure you are showing the calculation very clearly. So let's show it over here. Let's calculate for s raised to 4. So for s raised to 4, how do we start? We will look in the preceding row. Okay. So we will be using these two values. Okay. So these two values will be constant while calculating values of all the positions in this particular row. Okay. So this will be common. So 1 and 2 is going to be there. For this location, the other two values will be 8 and 12. We will cross multiply starting with this value, okay, always keep in mind. So it is going to be 2 into 8 minus 12 into 1 divided by this value, that is 2. After calculating, you will get 2 as the answer. You will write this value 2 over here. Now again, for the other position, that is this will remain common, okay. Okay, so 1, 2 will be there, 1, 2, and since we've already used these two values, we will be moving ahead and using these set of values, that is 20 and 16 for this position. Again I am repeating, please don't make a mistake of using these 4 values for this location. What we will be doing, we will be using these 2 and these 2, okay. So we have taken 1, 2, 20 and 16. We start cross multiplying starting from this value. So we will have 2 into 20 minus 16 into 1 divided by 2. So after calculating, you will get the final value to be 12 and you will fill this value 12 in this particular position. Now let's move ahead and calculate for this position. So again, how do we do it? We will be using these two numbers, that is 1 and 2 from the preceding row, okay, and these two values have been used, these two values have been used. Now we will be using this values for this particular position. So we have 16, but we do not have any value here at this location, so we will be assuming it to be 0. So we will have 16 and 0. Then we will start cross multiplying from this particular position. So we will have 2 into 16 minus 0 into 1 upon 2, that is this number. After calculating, you will get answer as 16 and we will write it over here. Now we will move ahead to S3. There is no need to calculate the value for this position because we will be using the first two numbers, that is 1 and 2. But for this location we will have to use values that would have been here, but there are no values here. So let's assume they are zeros, and once we cross multiply anything with 0 or multiply anything with 0, it is going to be 0. So there is no need to find the value of that position. We can move ahead to the next row, that is S raised to 3. Now for S raised to 3, we will be using the values from the preceding rows, right. So we will be using these two values, that is 2 and 2 and 12 and 12. So by doing that, we have 2, 2 and 12 and 12. We start cross multiplying, okay. By doing that, we have 2 into 12 minus 2 into 12 by 2, and after calculating we get the answer as 0. So we will write 0 over here. Then for this position again we will be using these two numbers, we will not be using this, and then we will move ahead to this. So by calculating we get, I am writing it over here, so we have 2, 2, 16 and 16. After doing the cross multiplication starting with this number, we have 2 into 16 minus 2 into 16 upon 2. After calculating we get the answer as 0. So we write it over here. For this position there is no need of calculation since we have no values over here. Now as you observe, in this particular row all the values are zeros. So we have a row of only zeros. So in such a case we will not be able to do any calculations further for the remaining rows. So what do we do here? Okay. So what do we do here? We will have to make some adjustments. Okay. So we will have to form an auxiliary equation for us to be able to find the values of the remaining rows. Okay, so how do we calculate the auxiliary equation? Okay, so to find the auxiliary equation, we will be using the preceding row. Now, what is the preceding row? Preceding row is the row just above the row for which we are calculating. So, we got a row of zeros for S raised to 3 as you saw, right. S raised to 3. So, the preceding row for it is, preceding is just above it. So, that is S raised to 4. So, we will write it down. So, S raised to 4 is what? We had the values 1, 6 and, sorry, we had 2, 12 and 16, right, 2, 12 and 16. Okay. So, we will write the auxiliary equation by A. So, A is equal to, so here we can write this as 2 into S raised to 4 plus 12 S raised to 2 plus 16. Now, why did we write it like this? Because here we have S with power 4 and we know that all the terms that we have here will have even power and decreasing, right. So, that is why we have written S raised to 4, S raised to 2 and S raised to 0, which is ultimately this is going to be 1. So, we can only write 16, right. So, this is equal to what? 0. Okay. After we get this, we have to find this row, that is S raised to 3. So, S raised to 3, to get the value of S raised to 3, we have to differentiate this auxiliary equation. So, we have dA by ds which is equal to d by ds of what? This particular equation that we have, that is 2 into s raised to 4 plus 12 into s raised to 2 plus 16, right. So, what is this going to be? So, this is going to be 8 into s raised to 3 plus 24s plus 0, right. So, we got new equation for S3, that is 8s raised to 3 plus 24s. Now, we can use this particular equation and we can update the array that we have. Okay. So, I will write the array again for you. So, we have s raised to 6, s raised to 5, s raised to 4, s raised to 3, s raised to 2, 1 and 0. We already had 1, 8, 20, 16, then we had 2, 12, 16, then we had 2, 12, 16, then we got this S3 as 0, 0, right. So, for which we found a new equation, that is S3. So, we will update S3 again as what? 8, right. We will only write the numbers associated with S. So, 8 and 24 we will write, and then we will go ahead and do the calculations. So, if you want to avoid any confusion, you simply can avoid writing this particular row. So, I will simply erase it. Even you can avoid writing it in the paper to avoid any kinds of confusion. Okay, now let us move ahead to find out values of these 3 rows, that is S2, S1 and S0. So, for S2, what we will do? We will be using these 2 values. So, we have 2 and 8, and then we will be using these 2 values, that is 12 and 24 for this location. Okay. So, we will cross multiply, and after cross multiplying we start from 8. So, 8 into 12 minus 24 into 2 upon 8. Okay. So, you will calculate and you will get the answer. I think you should get the value as 6. Then after this you can write the value as 6 over here. Then let us move ahead and calculate for this position. So, again you will be using 2 and 8. Okay, you will be using 2 and 8, and instead of 12 and 24 you will be using 16 and 0 from this place. Start cross multiplying from this location, you will get 8 into 16 minus 2 into 0 upon 8. So, I think you will get 16 over here after calculating. You can write 16 over here. Now, let us do it for S1. So, again preceding 2 values. So, you will use 8 and 6 first, and you will use 24 and 16, cross multiply starting from this location. So, you have 6 into 24 minus 16 into 8 upon 6. After calculating, you will get the value as, I think, 1.33. The value might not be accurate. If there is a mistake, please update it on your side. And then for this place, there is no need of calculating since there are no values in this locations, or it is simply 0, right. Now, let us do it for S0 finally, and then we will have the complete Routh's array. So, for S0 preceding values are 6 and 1.33. So, 6, 1.33, and we have 16 and 0. Start cross multiplying from this value. You have 1.33 into 16 minus 6 into 0 upon 1.33. So, this goes, this goes, finally you will be able to get 16, write the value over here. After completing the entire array, the next step is you have to observe the values that are there in the first row. So, the values that we have in the first row are 1, 2, 2, then we have 8, 6, 8, 6, 1.33 and 16, right. So, if you observe, there are no sign changes, right. Since there are no sign changes in the first row, what do we say, right. So, there are no sign changes in the first column. So, there are no roots on the positive half of the S plane, right. So, why do we say there are no sign changes? Since all the numbers are positive, the sign is not changing from positive to negative. So, there is no sign change in the first column, hence no roots are present on the positive half of S plane. Okay. So, and since we saw that there is a 0 row present, okay, there is a 0 row present. When we calculated, we saw that here S3 was 0, 0, right. Because of that, we found an auxiliary equation and updated S3. So, since that was the case, since 0 row was present, hence we say that there are roots on the imaginary axis. Hence, we say that there are roots on imaginary axis. Hence, the system is marginally stable. Okay. I hope you have understood. If you have any doubt, please put them down in the comment section. Thanks for watching.